My name is Sharon Shields, and I'm a professor of the practice in human and organizational development. And I have been in the Human and Organizational Development Department, fondly known as HOD, for over 20 years now. Actually, I received my bachelor's and master's degree at the University of Louisville, and I received a doctorate here at Peabody College in 1976. And so my tenure here, or my long-term work here, has been my only higher education position since graduating with my PhD. Currently in the Department of HOD, my work primarily focuses on undergraduate teaching, and I teach a long-time course here in health service delivery to diverse populations and team teach it with Lee Gilchrist. My other responsibilities have included teaching in the Community Development and Action Program, and I also serve in on several faculty committees and in faculty roles in the review of our faculty at the practice level. My scholarship and research has evolved over the years, and so much of my work has been in the area of health and wellness, especially for individuals and communities, and initiatives that have influenced the health and well-being of our society. My second area of interest has really evolved in the past 20 years around service learning and the work of partnerships of universities and communities, and how they can engage with one another and build capacity for each other and contribute to the education and learning. The Health and Human Services track has been a framework that I've worked in for several years, and helping to develop the work in that track so that our students who are interested in health professions, medical professions, pre-medical professions, working both in profit and nonprofit work in that area, would have a very diverse understanding of the role of health institutions in our society and the role that it can play across the society, and that a society that has individuals where we are concerned about their well-being is one that can be more productive, people can be more self-actualized, and the health of our nation can be improved. One of the things that really happened because of such a collaborative way that the department works, and so many people who were interested not only in organizations and people, but also the community, that it began my path in the area of service learning and connecting our students to real experiences in the community. And I think that this was my own framing as an educator in John Dewey, but I also know that our department has a very huge framing around Deweyism. And so it matched my philosophical underpinnings as an educator. And I always remember the quote, "Fling wide open the doors of the university and open the windows," that our learning experience is also outside the classroom. And this was a place that could thrive. We get our students out, we move them into the community, and we bring the community into our institution. And so there became this symbiotic relationship that really I had not found anywhere else that I could fulfill to the extent that I've been able to in HOD. And then I think the other advantage is just the research work that comes out of our department and the myriad of ideas and dimensions that it takes. And so it has opened my eyes to many issues in the community that I would never know about if I wasn't in this interdisciplinary group. And so one day I might be hearing about research on churches, and another day I'm hearing about research on homeless initiatives, and another day I'm hearing about work in a township in South Africa. The one that I have worked most on in the HOD book has been the chapter on field schools. And it was an interesting chapter for me to help develop because I did a field school model, but it wasn't really considered a field school by the department. I would say that we were kind of cloning a lot of the ideas of a field school, but put it into a different context. And so the work that I did was in Gallup, New Mexico, and on the Navajo Reservation. So one of the differences was that it was not international. This field school was in a frontier part of our own country. It also was tied to a research initiative, which most field schools, the research is generated out of it many times, but it is really more of a community development piece of work. The research drove our community development piece. And so we had a collaborative grant with 2 institutions in Colorado. Both of the people that I worked with had been former students here at Vanderbilt. So we took a group of students who actually were master's and doctoral students combined, and we took them out to Gallup. We were there for about 5 weeks and did just on-the-ground assessment work and created GIS mapping. We did surveys and focus groups around nutrition and physical activity issues in that community. And so we did neighborhood audits to look at what the resources were. And this was such a unique situation because Gallup, New Mexico is a frontier town, but on the weekends it expands because of the people on the reservation who come in to use the resources. And there are also many challenges with nutritional food and the preservation of it because on the reservation many people don't have refrigeration, they don't have electricity. There are some that are really having difficulty complying to disease issues such as heart disease, diabetes. And so we were really working with the community to help them to have data and understandings of some of the need that was there for people to even comply to medical recommendations, and to also look at how we can reverse some of these trends by having better nutritional offerings in stores and markets in their area. So the contribution that was made in this particular chapter, I think, really dealt with that a field school can take on many different purposes and ramifications, that the key core issues are building capacity for communities, teaching our students and providing them with a real-time, real-life learning experience, putting them in situations that many of them have never been in before, helping them to understand different contexts of communities and how communities work. You know, passion is a very interesting word, and I think that my life's passion has been rooted in a philosopher, a theologian, Frederick Buechner, who says that you find your greatest joy when your life intersects with one of the world's greatest needs. And so I have always felt that one of the world's greatest needs is to create individuals who believe in justice, who believe in furthering the work of our society, who believe in creating community. And it brings me great joy when I see that we are training students who are passionate about that, who are willing to do the hard work of looking at the injustices in our society, who are willing to step out of their comfort zone and enter new communities, who really think about the issues and get perspective from that 360-degree view. And so I feel like that being at Peabody College, being an HOD, we get to live out that claim that we are here to make a difference. and that those differences may be very different for each person of how they get joy in meeting a need in the society. But it's because of that collective that our society will thrive and that it will move forward. And so I guess my passion is meaning making, making a difference, and finding joy in meeting need.